आदर्श शिंदे, आदर्श शिंदे, अंकिता हत्तीहोळी, अंकिता, अंकिता, चंद्रशेखर पत्तार, चंद्रशेखर पत्तार, हर्षगौಡ आर पाटिल.
roll number 3 present.
Okay, I have marked yours. हर्षगौಡ आर पाटिल, जानवी,
Present, sir.
ओके. महादेव अडेयर, महादेव, मोहम्मद मजहर, मोहम्मद, कीर्ति पाटिल,
Present, sir.
कीर्ति, ओके. पिकेश एस लमानी, राइट. चंद्रो पत्तार I have marked. पिकेश एस लमानी, प्रज्वल गौಡ मलगौडर, रमेश वडवडगी, रमेश,
Present, sir.
ओके, राइट.
Present, sir.
रतन बिरजे, रतन, रोहन तिमसानी, ऋतिक चोपड़े, ऋतिक, ऋत्विक गुणे,
Present, sir.
ओके. सदाशिव गरी, सदाशिव गरी, सागर तळीकेरी, सागर तळीकेरी, साई प्रकाश, साई प्रकाश, समीर अहमद खाजी,
Present, sir.
समीर अहमद, ओके, राइट. सानिया, सानिया, संजय, संजय गाणगेर, संकल्प,
Present, sir.
ओके.
Present, sir.
संकेत, यस. संकेत,
Yes, yes, sir. Present, sir.
संकेत, ओके.
Present, sir.
यस यस. शिरज,
Present, sir.
शिरज, ओके. शिवनंदा नाटीकर, शिवनंदा, श्रद्धा हुंशाळ, श्रद्धा, शुभम बेकवाडकर, शुभम, सुमित गायकवाड, सुमित, सुरैया बानो कुरुंदवाड, सुरैया बानो, तेजस, तेजस, विवेक गोणी, विवेक, यमुनप्पा नरसಣ್ಣवर, यमुनप्पा नरसಣ್ಣवर, गांवकर रजत रामचंद्र,
Present, sir.
ओके ओके. मंजुनाथ मेळ्ळिगेरी, मंजुनाथ मेळ्ळिगेरी, प्रथमेश पाटिल, प्रथमेश, ओके, राइट. सदाशिव गरी, ओके. Roll number 17. Anybody else is missed out? Sadashiv Gari. Then anybody else who are not given the attendance? Okay, no? Right. Okay. Ankita Hattiholi. Okay, right. So we'll start. Shubham Bekwadkar. Shubham. Shubham. I have marked.
Sir, present, sir.
I have marked yours, no? Shubham. Ah, yes. You
Sir,
are.
no, sir. Due to network problem, I went out.
Okay, okay, no problem. I have marked.
Yes, sir. Now present.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir.
Are you able to see the screen, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. In the last class, we were discussing about the voltage divider bias circuit, is it not? So we discussed there are two methods, exact method and approximate method, right? That's Q point exact analysis we carried out. Then we obtained the Thevenin's equivalent, R Thevenin, Thevenin's voltage, right? From this we got the equation ETH is equal to VCC R2 by R1 plus R2. Then we inserted the Thevenin equivalent circuit into the input side of the voltage divider circuit, and we got the equations such as equation for IB, that is ETH minus VBE divided by RTH plus beta 1 plus 1 into RE. Then VC is VCC minus IC into RC plus RE, VE is IE RE, VC is VC minus VE. So these are the few of the equations. Then VC is equal to VCC minus IC RC, VB is equal to VCC minus IB RB. Then we also took up a problem and we analyzed the voltage divider bias circuit. We obtained the parameters VCE and IC for the given voltage divider circuit. Right? This was how we analyzed in the previous class the voltage divider circuit. So we have to find out all the values, right, using the available equations. The next is, first one is the exact method of analyzing the voltage divider bias circuit. Second one is the approximate method of analyzing the voltage divider bias circuit. In the approximate method, this is R1 and R2, how they are arranged in series with the VCC. If you look into this circuit here, this is our VCC. Then here we have R1 and R2 with a junction in between. Correct? We have VCC, and in between R1 and R2 there is a junction. Correct? So that is how it is drawn. VCC and R1 and R2. In between R1 and R2 there is a junction, and this junction is connected to input side. This junction is connected to the input terminal of the transistor. Correct? So that is marked as RI, input resistance. Right? So when we are analyzing the emitter bias circuit, we got the equation for IB as VCC minus VBE divided by RB plus beta plus 1 into RE. Yes or no? IB equation is VCC minus VBE divided by RB plus beta plus 1 into RE. This was the equation for the emitter bias circuit for the base current. So in the denominator, what we have? RB plus beta plus 1 into RE. So this beta plus 1 into RE, then we understood that as base resistance is negligible, so the value of input resistance between base terminal and ground, or between base terminal and emitter terminal, is simply beta plus 1 into RE. So that is how we got the value of this input resistance RI. So this input resistance RI is beta plus 1 into RE. Right? In the voltage divider bias circuit also, this path is same as that of the emitter bias. RC and RE, the path is same as that of the emitter bias circuit, because this R1, R2 there is a junction, and this can be considered as base resistance, right, with the parallel combination of R1 and R2, right. So then with this is considered as base resistance, then we have a similar type of circuit as that of the emitter bias circuit. Hence this RI is considered same as that of the emitter bias circuit, that is beta plus 1 into RE. Okay, so RI is beta plus 1 into RE. RI is nothing but the input resistance between base terminal and the ground. So between this terminal, base terminal, and the ground, or between base and emitter terminal, right, whatever is the resistance, that is called as the input resistance of the transistor, that is RI, between base terminal and the ground terminal. That is, here it is written as RI, it is shown as RI here. Now what is the voltage here? This is plus to minus VB, that is between base terminal to ground. This is the voltage between base terminal to ground, that is VB, right? And the current flowing through this base terminal is IB into the base terminal. So if we see this figure here, this is a transistor. The current which is flowing into the base terminal, that is IB. Current that is flowing into the base terminal is IB, and the voltage drop from this base terminal to ground is VB. Okay, that is what is shown here. Positive to negative, that is VB. Here, if this resistance RI, suppose we are assuming that the input resistance of the transistor is very, very larger than R2. The input resistance of the transistor of the circuit is very, very larger than R2. So if this resistance is very, very larger than R2, then what will happen here? If this resistance is larger than R2, then the current flowing through this resistance will be less. Current flowing through this resistance will be less. Correct? More the resistance, less the current. Less the resistance, more the current. So as Ri is very, very larger than R2, therefore the current flowing through this resistance Ri will be very less. It is very negligible, almost zero. Right? Hence, what will happen here? Whatever this current I1 is flowing, that will flow from I1 to this junction to R2. So I1 will flow through R1 to the junction. It will flow to the R2 resistance. That means this resistance R1 and R2 can be almost considered as in series. They are not in series, of course, but they can be considered, assumed to be in series. They can be considered to be in series. Okay, because the current flowing through R1 is almost same as the current flowing through R2. Okay, so these are few of the points regarding the approximate method. So this circuit is called as a partial bias circuit for calculating the base voltage VB. So we are calculating this base voltage VB. This is how we are connecting the partial bias circuit. That is R1 and R2 at the junction with the junction, and this R1 another end is connected to VCC. So this is called as a partial bias circuit. Okay. So that is what is explained here. Ri is equivalent resistance between base and ground. Then resistance between base and emitter is nothing but Ri is equal to beta plus 1 into Re. So as Ri is very much larger than R2, as Ri is very much larger than R2, therefore IB is approximately equal to 0 ampere. IB is equal to 0 ampere. This is 0 ampere, almost 0 ampere. Therefore, the current I1 is same as that of I2. Whatever this current is there, I1 that will not get diverted, or very less current flows through Ri. Hence, maximum amount of I1 current will flow through R2. Okay, from R1 it will pass through R2. Then I1 is equal to I2, and an R1 and R2 can be considered in series. Now, what is the voltage VB? How can we find out this voltage VB? Which rule we have to apply here? Yes, if I want to find this voltage VB across R2, it's a divider between R1 and R2. So which rule I have to apply here to find the voltage VB? Yes, which rule I have to apply?
Divider rules.
Voltage divider rule I have to apply. Very good. So I have to apply voltage divider rule. So voltage divider rule, what does it state? Voltage across any branch across R2 here is nothing but main voltage, that is VCC, into resistance of the same branch divided by sum of the resistances. So VB is VCC into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Right? That is what I have written here. VB is equal to VCC into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay, that is we have found out this base voltage VB. So once we have found out this base voltage VB, the next is, what about the input resistance? Input resistance Ri. Okay, how much is the input resistance? Just now we studied the input resistance part. That is Ri is nothing but beta plus 1 into Re. Ri is beta plus 1 into Re. That is the input resistance of this circuit. Okay, that is Ri. It is beta plus 1 into Re. But beta is very, very larger than 1. Beta is higher as compared to 1. So this can be considered as approximately equal to beta into Re. Right? This can be considered as approximately beta into Re. The condition for approximate method, if you want to apply approximate method to the voltage divider bias circuit, right, then the condition that should be satisfied is beta Re should be greater than or equal to 10 times R2. This is the condition. Beta Re should be greater than or equal to 10 times R2. If this condition is satisfied, only then you can use approximate method to analyze the voltage divider bias circuit. Otherwise, you have to use the exact method. Right? So in examination, they may mention analyze the voltage divider bias circuit using exact method, or the question may be analyze the voltage divider bias circuit using approximate method. And if they ask a problem, then you can use either exact method or approximate method. Sometimes they specifically say use exact method in the problem, or they specifically say use approximate method in the problem. Then you have to use that particular method only. You cannot use the other method. Okay, just be a little bit careful about that. Okay, look into that what is being asked in the problem, and then accordingly you have to write the solution for that problem. Okay, so beta Re is very greater than or equal to 10 times R2. This condition should be satisfied. Only then we can apply the approximate method for the circuit, for the voltage divider circuit. So once we have found out this VB, then we can find out VE. So VE equation is VB minus VBE. Okay, so we know the equation for VBE. The equation for VBE is VB minus VE. Is it not? Equation for VBE is VB minus VE. So here I'll write the equation for VBE. VBE is VBE is, what is the equation? VB minus VE. VB minus VE. Right. Now if I want VE, then I will take VE to the LHS and VB to the RHS. So that will be VB minus VB. VB minus VB. VE will be equal to VB minus VB. This is the equation for VE. Okay. So VE is equal to VB minus VB. Similarly, what will be the equation for IE? Look into the circuit here. IE. So VE is IE into RE. Voltage across the emitter terminal, emitter from VE, that is emitter to ground, VE. It is IE multiplied by RE, because this resistance is connected to ground here. Okay, note that. So VE is nothing but voltage from emitter terminal to ground, that is current IE multiplied by resistance RE. So VE is what? VE is IE into RE. IE into RE. IE into RE. Okay. For IE will be equal to VE this divided by VE divided by RE. VE divided by RE. This is the equation for the emitter current. IE is equal to VE divided by RE. Right. Next, what can we find out next? Once we have found out IE, what about IC? Current IC. Just look into the circuit here. This is IC, right? IB is very, very less. Base current is very, very less. Therefore, IC is approximately equal to IE. IC is approximately equal to IE, as base current is very, very less. Correct. So that is why ICQ or IC, it is approximately equal to IE. So once we have found out IC, right, then we can find out VCE. Look into the circuit. VCE. So you have to use which part of the circuit? Output path. If I want to find out this collector to emitter voltage, VCE, then I have to use the output path. Output path I have to use, or the output, this path I have to use. Okay. So if I use the output path here, then what I will get? VCC minus ICRC minus VCE minus IERE is equal to 0. This equation here. VCC, right? VCC plus VCC. Then positive to negative, current entering positive, current leaving negative, minus ICRC. That is current, and here positive to negative, VCE entering positive, leaving negative. Then here IE is the current through RE resistance. Current entering positive, current leaving negative, IE into RE. So VCC minus ICRC minus VCE minus IERE is equal to 0. That is what I have written. VCC minus ICRC minus VCE minus IERE is equal to 0. For now, I want the equation for VCE. Okay. So VCC minus IC I will take common. IC is approximately equal to IE, as IC is approximately equal to right, is approximately equal to IE. IC is approximately equal to IE. Therefore, I have VCC minus IC in bracket RC plus RE. RC plus RE. Okay, RC plus RE. That is equal to VCC minus IC into RC plus RE. That is equal to VCE. That is equal to VCE. So we got the equation for VCE. VCE is VCC minus IC into RC plus RE. Right? That is the equation that we have got here. VCE equation is VCC minus IC into RC plus RE. Now, if we observe the equations from 3 to 7, okay, whatever equations we have got, that is VE is equal to VB minus VB, then IE is VE by RE, then ICQ is approximately equal to IE, VC is VCC minus IC into RC plus RE. Is there a beta term anywhere? Did you come across a beta term anywhere? No, right? There is no beta term anywhere here. You can just look into these equations. You just see these equations. There is no beta term anywhere, right? Equation 3, 4, right? Then equation 5, 6, 7. Any of these equations, there is no beta term. This means that the operating point is independent of the beta value in the approximate method. For the voltage divider circuit, the equations are independent of the value of beta. Hence, the operating point is independent of the value of beta. As beta changes, the operating point, that is IC and VCE value, does not change to a suitable extent. Right? They do not change to a larger value. Change may be very negligible. Hence, we say that the operating point or the Q point is independent of the value of beta. Okay, this is the observation that is made from these equations. Let us solve one example on this. Take this example, students. Take this example here. Example is repeat the analysis of, note down this in your notebook. All of you take your notebook and note down this. Randomly I'll ask anyone the answers. Note down in your notebooks, solve it. Repeat the analysis of previous figure using approximate technique. Repeat the analysis of previous figure, or you can take previous example using approximate technique and compare solutions for ICQ and VCEQ. Repeat the analysis of previous example using approximate technique and compare solutions for ICQ and VCEQ. So it is the same circuit what I had given in the previous class, this circuit, voltage divider circuit, this circuit. For the same circuit, you have to now apply approximate method. In the previous class, we applied exact method to this voltage divider bias circuit. Now we are applying approximate method to this voltage divider bias circuit. Okay. So if I apply the approximate method, what is the condition, students, to apply the approximate method? Is anyone? What is the condition to apply the approximate method? What conditions should be satisfied if we want to apply approximate technique to analyze the voltage divider bias circuit? Yes. What is the condition? Which is the main condition? Beta RE should be greater than or equal to 10 times R2. This is the condition. Beta RE should be greater than or equal to 10 times R2. So only if this condition is satisfied, then only you can apply the approximate technique. Okay, otherwise you cannot apply approximate technique to analyze the voltage divider bias circuit. Okay, so just you have to be clear with this equation that only if this condition is satisfied, only if this equation is satisfied, only then we can apply the approximate technique for analyzing the voltage divider bias circuit. So the condition is beta RE should be greater than or equal to 10 times R2. What is the value of beta here, students? Beta RE. So beta is how much? 100 into RE. That is RE is 1.5K. Okay. So let us solve it. Beta RE is beta RE. Beta RE. Beta into RE should be greater than or equal to, 10 times R2. 10 times R2. So beta value is 100. Beta value is 100 here. 100 this into RE. This into RE. Right? This into RE. RE is how much? 1.5K. So this into 1.5K. 5K. Right? That is greater than or equal to. That is greater than or equal to 10 times. 10 times. What is the value of R2? Just see the circuit. R2 is how much? 3.9K. 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 K is how much? 10 raised to 3. 3.9 into 10 raised to 3. 1.5K is 1.5 into 10 raised to 3. Now tell me whether this condition is satisfied here. Whether the condition is satisfied? Yes. 100 into 1.5 K is how much? 100 into 1.5 K. Just check. 150 kilo ohms. It is 150 kilo ohms. 150 K. Okay. That is greater than or equal to. That should be greater than or equal to 10 times R2. 10 into 3.9 K is 39 K. 39. Right. So how much? What is the condition here? Beta RE should be greater than or equal to 10 times R2. So whether this condition is satisfied or not? Yes? Condition is satisfied or not? Condition is satisfied here? Beta RE, is it greater than or equal to 10 times R2? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Condition is not satisfied? How?
Oh, no, yes,
Just see.
sir. Two times is yes, sir.
Correct, no? It is satisfied. 150 K kilo ohms is greater than or equal to 39 kilo ohms.
Yes, sir.
Condition is
No,
satisfied. Correct,
I
no?
didn't calculate 2 times, sir. Just I calculated
Okay,
one
no,
time.
no. You have to calculate only once. That is 100 into 1.5 K. Beta
Yes,
is 100. RE is 1.5 kilo ohms, right? That should be greater than 10 into R2. R2 is how much? 3.9 K. So 100 into 1.5 kilo ohms is 150 kilo ohms. This
Yes,
is
sir. Yes.
should be greater than or equal to 10 into 3.9 K. 10 into 3.9 kilo ohms is 39 kilo ohms. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So the condition is satisfied. 150 kilo ohms
Yes.
is greater than or equal to 39 kilo ohms.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
So as condition is satisfied, we can apply the approximate technique for analyzing the voltage divider bias circuit. Yes or no? So let us apply the other equations here. Once we condition find out that condition is satisfied, then use the equation for VB. Equation for VB is VB is equal to, right? VB is equal to VCC into R2 into R2, this divided by R1 plus R2. This divided by R1 plus R2. Okay. R1 plus R2. Right. So this divided by, here we have R1 plus R2, R1 plus R2. Substitute the values here. VCC is how much? Just check in the circuit. VCC is 22 volts. VCC is 22 volts. So it is 22 into R2 into R2. R2 is how much? Yes, 3.9K. Okay, R1 is 39K. So this into 3.9K, this into 3.9K divided by this divided by 3.9K plus R1 plus R2. Okay, this is R1 is 39 kilo ohms. R1 is 39 kilo ohms. 39 kilo ohms plus 3.9K. 3.9K. Let's find out the answer for this, students. 22 into 3.9K divided by 39K plus 3.9K. Find out how much you will get. What is the answer? 22 into 3.9 into 10 raised to 3 divided by 39 into 10 raised to 3 plus 3.9 into 10 raised to 3. How much you're getting? Check your answers.
2, sir.
2 volts? Yes.
Yes.
Answer is 2 volts. Now, whether we got same answer in exact method, just turn back your pages and see. Last example, what we solved in the previous class. VB. See the exact method. See here. VB. What we got here? VB. 2 volts. CTH. Thevenin's voltage. Right? It is 2 volts. Yes or no? So it is same. Whatever we got, the value of ETH for the exact method, the same we are getting the VB also, that is base voltage in the approximate technique, using the approximate technique. Okay. So this is same as ETH determined using the exact method. Next we'll go for finding out VE. VE is VB minus VBE. Write down the equation. So this is 2 volts, 2 volts, 2 volts, right? VE is VB minus VBE. VE is VB minus VB, or VB is VB minus VE. So we know VB, it is 2 volts. Then VB is 0.7 volt. Okay, so this will come out to 1.3 volts. 1.3 volts. 2 minus 0.7 is 1.3 volt. Equation for VE is 1.3 volt. Just check your answers. 1.3 volt. Fine. Next, ICQ. ICQ is nothing but approximately equal to IE. ICQ or IC is approximately equal to IE. Approximately equal to IE. Yeah? So let us write it. It is approximately equal to IE. That is VE divided by RE. VE divided by RE. That is VE is 1.3 volts. 1.3 volt. This divided by RE. RE is how much, students? RE is 1.5 coulombs. Here beta RE 1.5 coulombs. This divided by 1.5 K. This comes out to how much? What is the answer? 1.3 divided by 1.5 into 10 raised to 3. How much is the answer you are getting? Give me the answer.
Zero 0.86.
0.86.
Sir.
0. Check. Yes,
No,
check.
sir. Sorry. K I
No,
didn't
do
apply.
it slowly.
Okay.
How much? ICQ, IC. You're right. 0.86. So that is milliampere, or how much you're getting?
8.6 into 10 raised to minus 4.
Correct. 8.6 into 10 raised to minus 4 means it is 0.86 on milliampere.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Correct. You are right. Okay. So it is 0.867 milliampere. Milliampere. Okay. Sorry. Milliampere. Right. We got the value of IC. Next, we can calculate VCE. We can find out VCE. Equation for VCE. That is VCE or VCEQ at the operating point. This is equal to VCC minus IC multiplied by RC plus RE. RC plus RE. That is VCC is 22 volts. Okay, just look into the circuit here. VCC, which is the VCC, this is supply voltage 22 volts, right? So it is 22 volts minus IC. IC just now we got 0.867 milliampere. This into RC plus RE. Okay, how much is RC? Just see, RC is 10K plus 1.5K. RE is 1.5K. So it is 10K plus 1.5K plus 1.5K. Okay. 10K plus 1.5K. So that is our equation here. VCEQ is equal to VCC minus IC into RC plus RE. It is 22 minus 0.867 milliampere. Whole multiplied by 10K plus 1.5K. Tell me the answer here. How much you are getting? Approximate value.
12.02.
12.02. Yes, you are right. 12.02. Now check this value what we got for the exact method. For the exact method, VCE value. Let us go back and see. VCE, how much we got here? 12.34. So almost same values we are getting. Right? That means what? You can apply either exact method you can use, or you can use the approximate method. Any one you use and calculate the values of what all parameters are asked in the given problem. Okay. So this is how you have to solve the given problem. Right. For the whenever you are applying approximate method, keep in mind that you have to use the condition, check for the condition first, that beta RE should be greater than or equal to 10 times R2. Only if this condition is satisfied, only then you can apply the approximate technique. If this condition is not satisfied, you cannot apply the approximate technique. Then you have to go for applying the exact technique. Clear here, right? So this is 12.02 volts. 12.02 volts. Okay, so take down on homework problem, students. Take down on homework problem. So any problem in understanding this example here, students? This example is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Others, any difficulty? Any difficulty here? Any questions? Any doubts here in this example? Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. Take this homework problem, students. Repeat the exact analysis. Repeat the exact analysis of example 1. Repeat the exact analysis of example 1. If beta is reduced to 50. Repeat the exact analysis of example 1 if beta is reduced to 50. Are you able to see the slides, students?
Yes, sir.
Slides you are able to see, no? Slides
Yes.
50. You are able to see?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Take this homework problem. Repeat the exact analysis of example 1 if beta is reduced to 50. Repeat the exact analysis of example 1 if beta is reduced to 50. If beta equal to 50, then what will be the parameters VC and IC? Okay, that you have to find out. Example 1, which is the example 1 that we solved in the yesterday's class. That is example 1, this one. Exact method, right? Determine the DC bias voltage VC and the current IC for the voltage divider configuration. This is example 1. Configuration of figure below. For the same circuit, you have to find out the values of VC and IC if beta equal to 50. Yesterday we have solved it considering beta equal to 100. You have to use beta equal to 50 and find out the values of VCE and IC. Okay, do it for homework. Then we'll check in the next class. Okay. Next topic is transistor saturation. So as this voltage divider bias circuit collector path, that is the output path, this output path of the voltage divider bias circuit is similar to that of the emitter bias circuit, is it not? So RC is there here also in emitter bias circuit also there is RC. RE is there here also in emitter bias circuit also there is RE. So the output path remains the same in voltage divider bias circuit and also in the emitter bias circuit. And hence the collector saturation current IC sat equation will be same as that of the emitter bias circuit. That is IC sat is equal to, that is IC sat is equal to VCC divided by RC plus RE. So we know how we are finding the saturation current, right? What is the method to find out the saturation current? What we are doing there? To find the saturation current, we are shorting the collector and emitter terminals. Yes or no? We are shorting the collector and emitter terminals so that we are able to find the value of IC saturation. So IC saturation is found out under the condition and VC is equal to 0 volts. Correct? So when VC is equal to 0 volts, we are finding the value of collector saturation current, that is IC maximum on the y-axis. VC is 0. Yes. So that is IC saturation that is given by VCC divided by RC plus RE. So if you apply the KVL equation to the output loop here, right, in that voltage divider bias circuit, then you get IC sat is equal to VCC divided by RC plus RE. Then again the same thing, load line analysis also if we carry out, there are 2 points to be understood here for load line analysis. We know that one is when VC is equal to 0 volts. In the equation for this equation, when we consider this equation, VC is equal to VCC minus RC plus RE, right? So in this equation, if we substitute IC is equal to 0, what we get? VC is equal to VCC. Okay, IC is 0 on the x-axis. It is a graph of IC versus VCE, output characteristics, right? Then we get VC is equal to VCC for this condition. Next condition, when VCE is 0. When VCE is 0, the equation will be IC is equal to VCC divided by RC plus RE. IC will be equal to VCC divided by RC plus RE when VCE is 0. That is for the y-axis. On y-axis. On x-axis, IC is 0. On y-axis, VCE is 0. So under these two conditions, we get two equations. So which are those two equations? When VC is equal to 0, IC will be equal to VCC divided by RC plus RE for the voltage divider bias circuit. And when IC is equal to 0 milliampere, VCE will be equal to VCC. This is same as that whatever we have got for the emitter bias circuit. Next, stability factor. Stability is whenever there is change in the temperature, is there any change in the operating point? Right? Or how much is the change in the operating point whenever the temperature changes? So this is called as the stability factor. Right? So this stability factor is dependent upon the collector current. Right? As the temperature changes, if the collector current changes to a larger value, then we say that stability is less. Right? If collector changes to a smaller value, right, depending on the change of the other parameters, that is leakage current, beta value, VBE, base to emitter voltage, then we say that stability is high. Okay. So transistor circuits must be designed such that a certain temperature stability should be maintained so that changes in temperature result in lesser changes in the operating point or small changes in the operating point. So this maintenance of the operating point at particular value is nothing but stability factor. That is, it indicates how much is the change in the operating point due to change in temperature. Stability factor can be defined for each of the parameters that affect the stability. So which are the parameters that affect the stability? So the collector current is a function of the leakage current, that is ICO. Okay, the leakage current, this is the leakage current ICO. Then we have base to emitter voltage. Base to emitter voltage, then the beta value, that is the current gain. Okay, current gain, output current by input current. So this current IC, collector current, is a function of these three parameters. Okay, so when the temperature changes, these three parameters change. That is ICO changes, leakage current changes, VBE changes, and beta also changes. So when these three changes, the IC will also change, collector current will also change. So that decides whether the circuit is stable or not. Okay, let us see that. It is just like U is a function of X, Y, and Z. You have studied this in your mathematics, right? Complete derivative, right? You have come across the term complete derivative, partial derivative, is it not? So what does it state? Du is a function of dou U by dou X into dx plus dou U by dou Y into dy plus dou U by dou Z into dz. So I can express this du, right, as a partial derivative and finally as a complete derivative. So this dou U by dou X, dou U by dou Y, dou U by dou Z, they are partial derivatives. And dx, dy, dz, if I include, then it becomes the complete derivative. Okay. Now using this equation, I can write for delta IC, as delta IC is a function of ICO, VB, and beta. So this ICO, VB, and beta, I can consider them as this dx, dy, and dz. Okay, this ICO is dx, VB is dy, beta is dz. So if I consider that, then I will get delta IC is dou IC by dou ICO. Okay, dou U by dou X. What is X? X is delta ICO. Y is delta VBE, and Z is delta beta. So that is delta IC is a dou IC, that is du. I am taking for the function of collector current. So dou U is dou IC by dou ICO with respect to delta ICO plus dou IC by dou VBE. dy is dou I is VBE. So dou IC by dou VBE into delta VBE plus dou IC by dou beta. Dou IC by dou beta. This is delta beta, that is dz. Okay, dou IC by dou beta into delta beta. So this is the complete derivative. Complete derivative. Okay, so once you have obtained this equation, then stability factor, I can define the stability factor, that is stability factor with respect to collector leakage current, that is ICO. With respect to ICO, I can define it as dou IC by dou ICO, this part, dou IC by dou ICO. Remember, at the constant values of beta and VBE. Okay, you should not forget this. It is stability factor of leakage current ICO is dou IC by dou ICO, provided beta and VBE are constant. Okay, so when you are considering ICO, VBE and beta are constant. When you are considering stability factor of VBE, ICO and beta are constant. When you are considering stability factor of beta, ICO and VBE should remain constant. Okay, only then you can find out their stability factors. So similarly, S of VBE, that is delta IC by delta VBE, this term, delta IC by delta VBE. Okay, the second term here. And this is S of VB, stability factor with respect to base to emitter voltage, provided ICO and beta are constant. The other two parameters are constant. Then I have S of beta. S of beta is delta IC by delta beta when other two parameters, that is ICO and VBE, are constant. Right? Now, what does this indicate? For circuits with low stability factors, change in collector current, that is delta IC, is small when ICO, VB, and beta change with temperature. So if the stability factor is less, okay, the circuits which are having lower stability factors, change in collector current, that is delta IC, is smaller. Okay, and the temperature changes, the change in ICO, VB, and beta are less, and hence the change in collector current is also less. For which circuits? For the circuits which are having low stability factors. So what does it indicate finally then? Hence circuits with low stability factors are relatively stable and insensitive to variations in temperature. Hence circuits with low stability factors, the circuits which are having low stability factors, what does it indicate? If the circuit has low stability factor, it is S of beta, S of ICO, and S of VBE. They are less. If they are less, it indicates that the circuit is more stable. If it is more stable, what does it mean? It means that the change in parameters with respect to temperature is also less. The variations are less whenever there is change in the temperature. So total change in collector current, that is delta IC, can be considered as S of ICO. So that is dou IC by dou ICO. It is nothing but S of ICO, is it not? So S of ICO into delta ICO, and dou IC by dou VBE. It is S of VBE here, S of VBE. So S of VBE into delta VBE, dou IC by dou beta. Dou IC by dou beta is S of beta. S of beta into delta beta. So that is delta IC is S of ICO into delta ICO plus S of VB into delta VB plus S of beta into delta beta. So finally, students, lower the stability factor, this implies lower changes in the collector current. So few points about bias stabilization. Collector current in the transistor is sensitive to each of the following parameters. It is collector current in the transistor circuit is sensitive to these parameters. That is, it is sensitive to leakage current ICO, base to emitter voltage VBE, and the current gain beta. Now, how does these parameters change whenever the temperature changes? For every 10-degree rise in temperature, the leakage current doubles. And for every degree Celsius rise in temperature, the VBE voltage will decrease by 2.5 millivolts. VB decreases about 2.5 millivolts per degree Celsius increase in temperature, and the value of beta increases with increase in temperature. Okay, that is, biasing networks should be designed with low stability factors. How the design should be there? How we should design the circuits? Okay, the networks or the circuits, they should be designed such that the stability factor is less. Lesser the stability factor, more stable will be the circuit, more stable will be the operating point, in order to obtain high degree of stability of the operating point. All right. So in today's class, students, we have come across the approximate method. We started with the approximate method of analyzing the voltage divider bias circuit. We obtained the equations for Ri, Vb. Then the condition, very important, beta Re is greater than or equal to 10 times R2. Remember this. Then equation for VE, IE, VCE, that is VCC minus IC into RC plus RE. Okay, then we solved a problem on the approximate technique, right? We solved a problem on using approximate technique, right? Then later we started with the transistor saturation of the, that is for the voltage divider bias circuit. We got the equation for IC sat, that is VCC divided by RC plus RE. Then we have the load line analysis of the voltage divider bias circuit. Again, we got the same equations, VCC divided by RC plus RE, and VC is equal to VCC. Then later we took up a new topic, that is stability factor. Then we understood what is meant by stability factor. That is amount of change in the operating point due to change in temperature. This is called as stability factor. This delta IC changes whenever these three parameters change. It is when collector leakage current or VBE or beta changes, the collector current changes. Right? If collector current changes, to a larger value, stability will be less. If the collector current changes to a smaller value, then stability factor will be high. So lesser the stability factor, more will the circuit will be more stable. More the stability factor, less stable will be the circuit. Okay. Then I explained to you the complete derivative. These equations how they are obtained. Because S of ICO is dou IC by dou ICO. S of VB is delta IC by delta VB or dou IC by dou VB. S of beta is delta IC by delta beta. Then later bias stabilization, that is for every 10-degree rise in temperature, the leakage current doubles. For every degree Celsius rise in temperature, VB decreases by 2.5 millivolts, and for every increase in temperature, there is increase in the value of beta. Right? Finally, conclusion is biasing network should be designed in such a way that the stability factor is less, so that the operating point is highly stable. Right? That's all for today's class, students. Any questions here? Any questions?
No, sir.
Was the concepts clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right? Clear? Understood?
Yes, sir.
No problem anywhere? No problem anywhere?
And we need to read it again, sir.
Okay, wait. Just see if we can. If you are having any doubts here, right, you can ask me in the next class. Before beginning the next class, you can ask the doubts. We'll clear those doubts and then we'll go ahead with the next topics. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Others, what about others? Was it understood? Others?
Yes, sir.
Was it understood? Ankita understood? Ankita? Chandrasekhar Pattar? Chandrasekhar? Understood? Janvi?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Fine. Any questions, Janvi?
No, sir.
Okay. Mohammed? Kirti Patil? Kirti? Any questions? Kirti? Ramesh? Any questions? Ramesh? What?
He's not in the class, sir.
Huh?
He's not in class, sir.
He's not in class. He has given the attendance. Okay. Rutvik? Rutvik Gune? Understood, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sadashiv? Sadashiv? Sankalp?
Yes, sir.
Understood.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sanket? Sanket? Amber? Sanket is not there. Shiraj? Shiraj?
Yes, sir.
Understood.
So there
Shiraj?
is network issue here.
Network issue was there. Okay, no problem. You just look into my video. I'll be sending the video. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay. You can discuss with me personally, right? Or you can ask the doubts in the next class. Okay, Shiraj? Shubham, any doubts? Shubham?
No, sir. No, sir.
Clear, right?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Rajat? Rajat? Kaukar Rajat Ramchandra? Okay. So students, we will wind up here. We will continue in the next class. In the next class, I'll be continuing with the stability factor, where we will be deriving the stability factor equations for the various circuits. Till now, what all circuits we have studied, that is starting from fixed bias circuit, okay, then emitter bias circuit, voltage divider bias circuit, what all circuits we have studied. For those circuits, we will be deriving the stability factor equations, right? We'll take up those things in the next class. Thank you.